Well, Johnny, I hate to say it, but the BMW dealer did inspect the engine mounts and gave it a check mark, so they must be fine.
Yeah, I don't think so. Look at that. It's smashed.
So you're telling me they were wrong?
Yeah.
CV boot? But they also inspected the CV boots, and that's got a check mark.
Well, how about the grease right here? You got both power steering lines from the reservoir leaking.
Okay. Hold on. They checked the power steering fluid level and condition.
Yeah, both lines are leaking. How about the radiator leaking?
No.
Yeah, it just dripped in my face, so yeah.
Welcome to Hoovie's Garage, the dumbest automotive channel in all of YouTube, and this is a 2003 BMW 4.6 IS, the high-performance variant of the first-generation BMW X5, 340 horsepower V8 under the hood. A lot of cool performance and styling touches on this car. Basically, it is an X5M in everything but the name. In the first generation, they didn't have an MX5, but this was basically it. I paid $7,500 for this X5, bought it sight unseen on eBay, cross-country, and I felt pretty good about it because the seller was nice enough to go get this thing inspected by a BMW dealer before he listed it for sale, and he listed all the known issues there. So I bought it, it arrived, and clearly it had way more issues than the seller listed and what the BMW dealer found wrong with it, and well, I feel like I have been massively screwed. So today we're going to find out if I'm right. We're going to take this BMW to my independent BMW mechanic, the Car Ninja, stack him up to the BMW dealer's estimate. This is not my local dealer, but somebody cross-country far away that looked at this thing, and see if it is indeed missing a lot of things on their list and how much it's actually going to cost to fix. But before we do that, I'll give you a tour of my X5 and explain, well, why I bought it. So you're probably thinking, Hoovie, you idiot! Why did you buy this thing when you made a video about a year ago saying you should never ever buy a BMW X5 because you bought one in that video, it was so bad you took it right to the junkyard? And well, the answer is I never learned from my mistakes, but also because I'm trying to assemble the BMW Dream Team. Now, while these cars may be aged and haggard now, 20 years ago I thought this was the best automotive lineup really of all time. There's never been a better lineup since BMW in 2001. The cars are all very attractive, very well built, at least from the way they feel and look and drive, and while they haven't aged as well mechanically, it is a fantastic lineup of cars, and it shows how BMW has gotten away from their core, well, initial principles of building the ultimate driving machine. Now they're all bloated cars filled with technology, screens, all that stuff, not pure driving cars like even this SUV was. We knew it was a great driving SUV, and I know this because I actually used to have one when I was only a few years old. I got an X5 4.4i, and when it got out of warranty, it was a total disaster. But I'm giving it another chance here because I wanted to build the BMW Dream Team all in silver, and this is the last link in that. I now have the Z8, an M3, a Z3, an M5, my 7 Series, my 740i Sport, which is outside, and this, the X5. And while these cars can be a monster to maintain, it does help a lot when you find a good independent mechanic to keep these things on the road. If you're taking it to a dealer, having a car like this, as cool as it is, being a performance variant, the 4.6 IS, it could just be a total nightmare. And it's getting worse and worse with dealers. Franchise BMW dealers, all dealers taking care of older cars. It's like they're not interested, they don't care. The parts and the labor rates at dealers have gotten so obscenely high at this point, it's almost like they're trying to scare people out of these older cars and into newer ones, but also it's just sort of a rip-off, obscene greed thing, and thankfully that's opened the door for independent mechanics to open up shop, and really you can get a much better deal that way. But also, one thing that really bothers me is they're losing a lot of talent. As they raise their labor rates, you see the pay for these techs not going up, well, at near the percentage of the labor rate that they are charging, and they're losing all of these talented techs, and what good ones are still around, well, they are worked really thin, and the quality of their work isn't very good. That's why I think I got a bad inspection on this car. Either it was an inexperienced tech that was probably in diapers when this car came out, or somebody that was so busy that they just rushed through an inspection and missed a lot of things. Now, I don't blame the seller of this car at all for this, because he listed everything the BMW dealer said was wrong, and even went above and beyond and pulled the codes on the car because the BMW dealer wanted another $140 just to pull codes to see what the check engine light was. He said it was a cam timing code that goes away. If you reset it, it stays away for a long time before it comes back on, and listed all the issues that he knew, including the damage to the front. Unfortunately, it looks like it had a hit with an animal or some kind of impact that needs to be fixed, but otherwise it is in decent shape. 113,000 miles, but I mean, probably mechanically totaled if you take this thing to a dealer. Now, he wanted $7,500 for it. I messaged him with the cam timing codes. There's some other leaks. There's some issues like the cosmetic stuff. And I tried to negotiate like Ed. I said, hey, this thing's kind of a project. Would you take $6,000? Ed probably would have offered $2,000. And they said, no, firm. Firm. It's not a project. I just drove this thing 500 miles. It is mostly fine. And, well, to the best of this person's knowledge, it was fine, but I really don't think so. When I start this car up, it has a really bad noise from the right side of the engine. Sounds like a bad accessory or maybe the timing chain. That code that's going off for the timing, it does seem to be leaking a little more than just oil. It seems like there's some other fluids mixed in there, and there's just lots of other little things like this mirror that's just totally loose. And really, the car doesn't drive fine. It seems a little down on power. There's that noise, and the suspension is just totally shot. But I can see if someone's owned a car over a number of years and it slowly got worse, you wouldn't notice that things are off because it didn't, well, happen overnight. But overall, it is in decent shape. You know, with the miles, it's probably a little bit nicer than average. And these things look so cool with the IS body kit. You can see they fender flared it a little bit, and it's black. The exhaust out the back looks really, really cool. The inside has sports seats. We're missing a few trim pieces, but otherwise it is in pretty nice shape. So how bad can it be? Well, we'll actually find out in the morning. I'm still in this crazy schedule with the car issue show where I don't have time to film anything during the day. So early in the morning, we will go to the Car Ninja's lair. We will check out this X5 and see how their inspection stacks up to the Car Ninja's, well, very, very careful eye. He has a lot of experience with these things, so I know this car is in good hands. So I really dove on a grenade here. A seller saying that this thing drives great. It's not a big project, and holding firm to his price. And well, when you drive this thing, it does not drive great. There's this odd noise coming from one bank of cylinders, it seems like, on one side of the engine. Or maybe it's an accessory. And then the suspension is so bad on this thing. An X5 used to be a pretty tight feeling SUV, but now this one, well, drifts hard to the left. It is just super, super loose. So there's some serious suspension problems, but that's all noted in this inspection from a BMW dealership that the seller did list. But, you know, sugar-coated it, not saying that it's cost $4,000 plus to fix at a BMW dealer. And that's just diagnosing the check engine light. That's not fixing this check engine light, which is, you know, going to be a lot of money. This code 22 for whatever cam issues this thing has. Let's floor it here. The mirror comes loose as you floor it, and I can't see now, but, you know, not bad. But when you do the math, it just makes no sense, because a nice one of these with 60,000 miles sells on Cars and Bids for, you know, about 15 grand. I paid $7,500 firm for this, and well, it easily needs another 7,500 to get to that point, or maybe. That's at least at a dealer. But the Car Ninja, being an independent mechanic, his labor rates are lower. He gives me a break on parts, so maybe I'll get lucky if he likes this thing. It all depends on if he likes the car or not. So that's an important thing. So let's get to the Car Ninjas in this hopelessly broken X5. Oh, why did I do this to myself? It makes a weird noise. Under load on that side, there's some accessory or something making noise on this guy.
Almost sounds like a timing chain tensioner.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Well, it does have the check engine light on, but this is an unusual circumstance, Ninja, because I already have an inspection done on this car from the BMW dealership. There you go. So $3,481, and that's with just diagnosing the check engine light at $140, not what's wrong with the engine. And apparently it's a code 22, which is the Vanos stuff, or, you know, rattling. Then the should fix $4,280. And you saw the cosmetic things.
Yeah.
This mirror, every time I floor it, is being a BMW X5. But I was told by the seller this isn't a project.
What is it then?
Yeah, it's not a project. So he held firm to his price, saying it's not a project.
It's a gorgeous car, but yeah, it's gonna be more than a project.
I guess we're plugging it in first, huh?
Yep.
But look at this. This is mine, right?
Yep.
That aftermarket bumper is actually really, really good.
They did an awesome job painting it.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't want them to go too nuts, so there's still this, but it's been touched up.
Touched up, yeah.
But it does look like a completely different car.
So this whole thing has been resprayed, remember?
Yeah.
How bad it was, so
Yep.
yeah.
It looks like a
yeah.
very presentable M5 now. I just need to get the wheels refinished, and then, well, there's still a lot of mechanical things to
I
do.
got the
But
interior done.
oh my, the wood!
Yes. I got so high cleaning that one up, so.
How did you do it?
Chemicals. Yeah. It was just a respray, so paint.
So you just rubbed on it with chemicals, and the wood's actually in nice shape. So somebody just painted the wood to be dumb, huh?
Yeah. This is gorgeous the way it is.
Wow. Well, I think you just increased my value quite a bit without any of the mechanical work. So,
Exactly. So we're almost done with it. So we're just gonna do the clutch, brakes, the rear shocks, and it should be yours.
okay, well, and then I dogpile this on you. So let's plug it in. M3 transmission is on the way. The Z3 is outside in progress as well.
Yep.
The dream team is assembled.
Almost.
What have I done to myself? I've assembled it to have it all disassembled here, spent thousands. And what have I accomplished?
Something that has never been done in a while.
Okay. I'm sure nobody's ever eaten their own shit in a while. I mean, that doesn't mean it's an accomplishment.
Actually, you do not have any Venus codes. You have an airflow meter code. You have a tank ventilation code. And oxygen sensor. I mean, the only thing we can change is the airflow meter. I mean, the rest is just emissions, so it shouldn't affect your drivability at all.
Oh, okay. Well, they said when he reset it would stay off for a long time, so maybe it is, but it is making a little bit of noise up there.
Yeah, that's coming from the tensioner though.
So timing chain's a common thing?
Very common on those. Oh, it's been done. It's been done very recently.
So why is it rattly? Is it just being a BMW?
I do not know if they changed your tensioner or not. I mean, and if they time it properly or not. So I'm not sure. I do see this motor mount is busted. Inspection begins.
All right. Well, that's something the BMW dealer didn't notice.
Yeah, it's busted. You have a broken boot. That's where this nipple goes right here. It's broken. We can fix that, it's no big deal. And obviously you have oil leaks from your timing cover. So we're gonna lift it up in the air and see.
They did notice that. Well, Johnny, I hate to say it, but the BMW dealer did inspect the engine mounts and gave it a check mark, so they must be fine.
Yeah, I don't think so. Look at that, it's smashed.
So you're telling me they were wrong?
Yes.
Really?
A CV boot.
CV boot? But they also inspected that, the CV boots, and that's got a check mark.
Well, how about the grease right here?
You're telling me the BMW dealer missed something? Now tooth somethings?
And I noticed you said something about tie rods. I don't see anything wrong with the tie rods at all. They're solid.
But they were right on the oil leak being the timing chain cover.
Yes. And the bushings. We are having a oxygen sensor code. I don't know if you notice it.
Right?
And you got aftermarket sensor here. That's why.
It's just been wired in with electrical tape.
Yep. So that will be one of the issues.
But the seller told me that when he resets it, it all stays off for a really long time.
Yeah, I don't think so. And also, obviously, your valve covers are leaking too. You got both power steering lines from the reservoir leaking.
Okay. Hold on. They check the power steering fluid level and condition.
Yeah, both lines are leaking. How about the radiator leaking?
No.
Yeah, it just dripped in my face, so yeah.
Really? It's not a project.
It is a project.
Oh,
Look at
okay.
that. Look at that. Right here.
Yep, there's the blue BMW cooling system strikes again. Okay, this is definitely the worst car of the bunch that I bought. All right, well, let's see how your estimate stacks up to the BMW dealers.
Well, I mean, they told you need tie rods, you don't.
Right. And I imagine that your prices are not quite as obscene as these.
The question is, do you want to rescue it or not?
I guess it all depends on how big your estimate is. So let's see, first of all, how you would do against the BMW dealer.
Okay.
Timing chain cover gasket, $1,900?
Nah, approximately about 1,100 bucks.
1,100 bucks?
Yeah.
But what about the tensioners and stuff in there?
Well, you just do the outer tensioner, and that's another 60 bucks from BMW. So, yeah.
So 1,100 bucks. So I save $900
Right there.
pretty much, and you do more.
Yep.
And then the
Bushings.
tension strut bushings are $531.
Their labor is like 180, about like 260.
$260. So then we have radiator power steering.
Another $200 on power steering.
Mm.
Another 400 on the radiator.
Yeah. And then you had oxygen sensor, mass airflow meter.
Now the airflow meter is kind of pricey.
Really?
Yes. So we're gonna do some shopping for that, trying to find a better price. And the boot is like 50 bucks plus another hour to do.
And then there's those loose mirrors. That's really annoying.
Yeah, I had one like this a while back. There is gears inside the strip. If I remember right, I modified mine. Let me see if I can do the same thing with yours.
Okay. So ballpark, what do you think?
Probably $3,000.
That's it?
That's it.
To sort this thing out? I imagine if the dealer were doing this, it'd be like 10 grand.
Probably. Yeah.
So that's a no-brainer. All right. Well, one more dog piled onto the rest, and I'm sure you're not busy at all with any other customers' cars, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, we're getting close. And then when they're all fixed, we're gonna take it to the track. All of them have this beautiful track day with these cars, and hopefully they don't break. So probably bleed the brakes on this thing too.
Yes.
It's a big heavy
absolutely.
thing.
Oh, by the way, the
use-
Z3 has great brakes now.
Oh, good.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, because they weren't working in the rear at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Well, thank you for watching.